Good evening, this is Eswatini TV News at 8, read to you by myself, Natalie Sitole, alongside Namaklabiso Nkambule. First up, let's have a look at our top stories. We'll go on with the news. The Prime Minister, Cleopas Dlamini, says the country isn't relaxed on issues of national security. Government is doing a lot to ensure national safety, though all cannot be disclosed for security reasons. The Prime Minister was responding to a motion on means being done by government to strengthen and ensure national security amidst the calls for political reforms. And now we'll have a break and the news will be back on your screens shortly.
And you are tuned into a brand new show on Eswatini TV called Street Quiz. Street Quiz is a show that is aimed at finding out just how well you know your beautiful country and just how well you travel. Now, the beautiful part about it, and that is my favorite part as well, is you get to win a special prize. Now, that could just be money or a little something extra. As for me and my team, we Danibona every week from here, just as long as you tune in and now I'm gonna start doing the
My name is Eswatini.
It's your boy DJ Sunday, aka DEZ. Catch me and the gang on a brand new show.
Amazing show. I'm so excited about first episode.
It's hot new show for Studio One.
As you guys know, we do cover all things music and entertainment. We're going to be doing the news aspect specifically. Our news is divided into two segments, into international news and then local news.
I'm going to be on the cozy couch, hosting all the guests that we have on the show. Thanks for joining me on the cozy couch. Your performance, how did you feel about that? I love you.
Honestly, I was ecstatic, man.
I'll be dealing with the hottest videos for the week. At number 1, we have Tenderness featuring Willem Seni for Love Me.
We have the same thing.
And it's now
been open with the both of
the universe.
Number 1 DJ in Africa.
See you every Saturday at 6 p.m.
on Eswatini TV.
Studio One.
Studio One.
Studio One.
When you choose your adventures, you do so with an open heart and a desire for the unexpected. You embark on journeys to discover new
Welcome back. This is Eswatini TV News at 8. Thank you for staying with us. The Prime Minister, Cleopas Dlamini, says the country isn't relaxed on issues of national security. Government is doing a lot to ensure national safety, though all cannot be disclosed for security reasons. The Prime Minister was responding to a motion on means being done by government to strengthen and ensure national security amidst the calls for political reforms.
When the House of Senate resumed its parliamentary business on Wednesday, the Senate adopted a motion that detailed the Prime Minister Cleopas Dlamini the preventative measures adopted by government to ensure national security in line with Section 58, subsection 7 of the Constitution in the wake of statements allegedly whereby some are recruiting a Eswatini to undergo military training following the calls for democratic change a couple of months ago. The Honorable Prime Minister says the country isn't relaxed on this matter. Government is indeed working on something to strengthen national security and ensure national safety, though for security reasons all cannot be disclosed.
Madam President, laba phethe kuphepha bayaqwa kungixwayisa kakhulu ukuthi noma kambe ngabe kukhona lokwendiwako angabe kusasebenza kahle nangabe lokwendiwako sekwenekelwa nelive ukuthi likuve ukuthi kwendiwa naku kukhona lokwendiwako Madam President kepha-ke ngaleso simo sekuthi vele tekuphepha tekuvikela kusito letentelwe ebaleni ngoba nawe nje nawubethekela kakho awuthi sikhonkwane ngisifake lapha lesinye ngasifaka lapha sitawukhuluma nje ukuthi kukhona lokwendiwako futhi kuqinile kepha sibuthi singasi kuyini kungakuphi kwendiwa bobani sengaphindze futhi kwendele phasi leto tekuphepha ngicela kuyibeka nje kanjalo ibe imfishane timbunga konje ngesiqiniseko lesikhulu ukuthi kukhona lokwendiwako ngithemba nani seniyabona ukuthi live likanjani ukuthi vele cha kusho ukuthi kukhona lokwendiwako.
Senators then debated the Prime Minister's report and most called for parents to be on the outlook for their children's behaviors. Senator Chief Nkalonkhulu Mabuza said it would have been better had the Prime Minister been present when the motion was first adopted, thus he would have given a detailed report.
Now ubethelako awubethele mina ubethela nzambama kanti nawe inyanga mbama ilanga libalele sengalo ubabita bonke futhi bathakala uyane into sibuka sami la ngisifaka khona bese asifaka ukuthi hambe usigcumela nasi lapho shonke uyinyanga mbama kodwa nawe usibethela ushaya uvalo bakubona bathakathi yaba-ke cha uqinisile vele mengameli ukuthi taka security atingangathi
mina nje ngale motion nje ngi-expect ukuthi umhlonshonjo nankulu uyawungena even ku-TV ayiyale emaswati ukuthi wonke umntali akayale ukuthi kube bede umntwana wakhe lotawurecruiter ayowentiwa lokubi.
Lama narratives longathi laba njena kuthileni hayi abasimnandi siyakwazi nisuhlala lapho wena inkulumo lethini leyo Madam President sekufanele singakhulumi sikhulume liqiniso sesatshiswe.
Some said the Prime Minister needed to clarify through the media that no one unleashed the police on the people, especially protesters. The Prime Minister welcomed the Senator's submissions and is expected to submit a report to Senate within 7 days after adoption. For Eswatini TV News, I'm Kian MCB, Parliament.
Members of the House of Assembly have approved the COVID-19 Emergency Response Project additional loan bill that will allow the country to make a loan not exceeding $5 million with the World Bank. The chairperson of the Ministry of Health Portfolio Committee in the House of Assembly, Mduduzi Dlamini, says the loan will ensure drugs availability in the country.
The Ministry of Finance has been given a green light to acquire the Eswatini COVID-19 Emergency Loan Bill of 2021 from the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, World Bank. According to the Portfolio Committee's chairperson of the House of Assembly, Mduduzi Dlamini, the loan will allow availability of drugs in health facilities in the country, since some of Eswatini have raised concerns that there are shortages of drugs in health facilities. Some members of Parliament supported the adoption of the Portfolio Committee report.
Ikakhulu ama-drugs awekho Mr Speaker. Bantu labangakhoni kuyithengela lama-drugs noma emaye Mr Speaker kani le-COVID naseyikhona seyikuhlasele. Akusiko nje ukuthi kulashwa le-COVID, kulashwa lesifo lesivuka nasobanjwe kule-COVID. Manje-ke konke Mr Speaker lesikhulumile nje lokufaka phakathi ekuthenini kungenzeka sisizakale lapho Mr Speaker ngokuthi ema-drugs ahlale akhona ey'bhedlela nakuma-clinics Mr Speaker.
It's a concessional loan sinikwe World Bank. Lene buhle bekuthi nabakunika imali bacela yokwenda lo mele kwendeke. Siyacela bahlonishwa ukuthi nisibambise. I-COVID is a very serious thing. Sikubutile ingalo umhlonishwa bengabuta ukuthi lo sanika 200 million lapha asiseva soshona ebusenifuna lenye. I believe lokuhlala kwale portfolio committee yaka health but let's those reports angene labo official.
The Minister for Finance, Neil Reconstruction, commended the members of Parliament for putting the health of Eswatini first.
And many questions are raised. We have a few meetings normally. And what I really appreciate is by the time we then get to the House, there's a good understanding of what's going on. The committee really has wrapped their minds around the issues and they've applied themselves. And by the time we get here, it's it is like it is today, where there's support for the bills, at the same time a good understanding of it. So a real thanks to the committee, thanks to the chairpersons of both committees.
The ministry is expected to borrow an amount not exceeding $5 million for Eswatini TV News on Mlangeni with Muzi Mkhonda in Parliament.
The Ministry of Health Portfolio Committee in the House of Senate's chairperson, Senator Isaac Makakula, has refuted allegations of corruption in the operations of the Look Commission in Eswatini. Makakula says the healthcare center operates normally. This follows public concerns that patients are ill-treated.
The Ministry of Health's Portfolio Committee in the House of Senate's chairperson Isaac Makakula has presented a report concerning the allegations of corruption in the Look Commission Health Facility. This is after the House requested the Portfolio Committee to investigate these allegations. When presenting the report before the House of Senate, Senator Isaac Makakula stated that the hospital is functioning normally.
Angisho Madam President ngalokufishela ngisibengicela ukuthi le board yemukelwe njengembiko ukuya kwethu ikakhulu lesakuthola lokhu bekundinda la moyeni sengishonile lesakuthola akuzange ukuqinisekeke nasilapha thina.
Members of the House of Assembly stated that people are exaggerating. Some stated that there is no corruption in that facility.
Kepha-ke mengameli lokubonakalako nalokuncumakako ngalo msebenzi walaphana ngilokuthi tinfo letiningi njengoba nje asithina sahlala phansi sihlalo lo kwe oxygen lo ngibona bekukhalisa emavela amaningi ngokungatholakali kwawo bafike ezingeni lokuthi nabo batakhele le oxygen bese ngiyona ikhona kusita live sengakhona nekusita nabo makhelwane
bonke lento lebeyikhulunywa be-exaggerating lento lebeyenteka lapha Madam President iyangikhumbuza indzaba yaNando's leko 1990 something wawa Nando's ngokuthi zadumisa kwekuthi inyama yakhe lapha idliwa inyoka nje kusuka afika dikhothe lenyama dikhothe bekwenteka njalo ke nalapha kwabete lobuka kokuthi phela lo COVID noma ungaya kusiphi isibhedlela uma isikhathi sakho sekufanele ukuthi sihambe nga-COVID besihamba.
The Minister for Health, Ilizinkosi, says the Look Commission facility has played a huge role in assisting government as the country is faced with the COVID-19 pandemic.
Litiko lisebenzisana kahle kakhulu na Look Commission. Na kungena kuyivesibili sidzinga ama-ventilator ama-ventilator bawasebenzisa bawachama kakhulumende bedside monitors nako konke. Liphini landvuna nkulibale tinto letinengi ngisho oxygen wekuqala besibabambisa vele kakhulu ukuthi ube central Look Commission ku response yethu ya COVID kakhulu nase ku certain up nje tinzayo dokwelapha nanyalo lokuphuma kiyo lemakhaya lesibasenzela kona ungathi abakaqashi lamasonto lasebenzela uhulumende.
Senators commended the facility for treating COVID-19 patients after Sitegi Referral Hospital ran out of space. For Eswatini TV News Sondo Mlangeni with Muzi Mkhonda in Parliament.
stock loss compensation needs to be incorporated in the 500 million Emalangeni Reconstruction Fund for damaged businesses. This is contained in a report on the Reconstruction Fund regulations tabled by the Ministry of Finance's Portfolio Committee in the House of Assembly on Wednesday.
Reconstruction Fund was announced by His Majesty King Eswatini III in July during Sibaya. The Minister of Finance then moved swiftly to draft the Reconstruction Fund regulations, which was delivered in Parliament in the House of Assembly. On Wednesday, Chairperson of the Minister of Health's Finance Portfolio Committee, Honorable Mawik Khumalo, then tabled the report. Khumalo says the fund needs to incorporate stock loss compensation for businesses and most of them. Khumalo says the fund needs to incorporate stock loss compensation for businesses as most of them are renting buildings for their businesses.
Before business grants for the purpose of compensation for loss of stock for the micro and small enterprises. The fund infrastructure. Compensate infrastructure. No. Kuna maswati nabala bancane bosomabhela hlekele sitoko la angeke sithalalise kwagcina ke vele sekunale compromise kwangena kodwa nje kwalithatha lichile lekhuluma lokho.
The House of Assembly members then debated the report.
Letiko belicele ukuthi lapho ma offenses akube ngu-5,000 utafula la mhlambeni ende ebuqala ukuthi mhlambeni alethe ima report langasiyo noma ama document langasiyo. Kodwa Mr. Speaker ke sibonga nje malunga ukuthi akhalise cha le fine isetulu. Isho Mr. Speaker yaseseyehla seyita 1,000.
Lo mncane lo laphansi naye le percentage yokulinyalelwa is 100% maybe. Mhlambe lo lapha etulu ngebhizinisi ulinyalelwe yena 10%. Kodwa kubonakala ingathi sekukhulu.
This is we're trying to help the economy, but at the same time if we see the people that are supposed to be monitoring it, or the people that are supposed to be beneficiaries, flouting the rules, what is going to, where the rules, and once the audit is complete, will there be a process afterwards for people that have flouted these rules?
The fund will be managed by the Eswatini Bank and it will be officially launched by His Majesty King Eswatini III on September 6 this year. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I am Samkel Suekoza with Muslim Konta in Parliament.
The Minister of Commerce, Industry and Trade has officially launched the financing model for micro, small and medium-sized enterprises. The launch, which was held at the Hilton Garden Inn Hotel, was in partnership with the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa.
The launch of the financing model for micro, small and medium enterprises follows the Intergovernmental Committee of Senior Officials and Experts of Southern Africa hosted by the Minister of Commerce, Industry and Trade in October 2019. After that meeting, the minister requested a technical assistance from UNECA. Launching the model virtually, the Minister of Commerce, Industry and Trade, Mangoma Khumalo, said MSMEs are the engine of economic growth and effective driver of the economy as far as employment opportunities is concerned.
It is a globally known and accepted fact that MSMEs are the engine of economic growth and an effective driver of the economy as far as employment opportunities are concerned. As much as this business sector is well known for its potential to evolve the economy, in Eswatini, just like many other developing countries, we are faced with the challenge of having an ineffective finance model to solve these problems. Many are concerned with the ministry that the funds in this country aren't favorable for SMEs. Hence, it is in this regard that we felt as a ministry that we really needed to study and diagnose the problem and start offering solutions. And I think the list of actions that you shared is extremely key for me as Mr. for Commerce Industry Trade to ensure that we start changing the landscape in this regard.
Representative of the UN resident coordinator Natal Ndongised Dipaksha says the COVID-19 pandemic has given the country a task to work on the development of SMEs.
The Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Trade boldly and admirably declared 2020 as the year of micro, small and medium enterprises. It is without a doubt that the economic, socio and humanitarian disruptions that would later ensue, caused by the pandemic, has solidified this need to act, protect and empower MSMEs in Eswatini.
Also joining the launch virtually, Director of UNECA Sub-Regional Office, Eunice Kamwendo, applauded Eswatini for the implementation of SMEs development strategies, while consultant Dr. Vinay Acharaz said the country still needs to work on solving the current issues around SMEs financing ecosystem. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I am Samgal Suekoza with Fuminko Sensinisa in Papane.
The Minister of Agriculture, Jabulani Mabuza, says it is the duty of the ministry and dairy stakeholders to work together in formulating strategies that focus on the growth of the dairy industry. The minister was speaking during the official opening of the Dairy and Dairy Products Stakeholder Meeting held virtually on Wednesday.
2 weeks ago, the Kingdom of Eswatini, in partnership with the United Nations, held a food system summit dialogue to improve food security in the country and further limit importation. During the launch, the Minister of Agriculture, Jabulani Mabuza, said the development of any industry hinges upon cooperation between all stakeholders, that is private sector and the public sector.
It is very crucial for each one of us to fully understand our roles and responsibilities. Information sharing is also of paramount importance as it levels the ground and ensures transparency in our operations. It is therefore our duty to work together in ensuring that our actions best serve the interests of the country and facilitate growth in our industry. As a ministry, we pledge our utmost commitment and support to all of you in your specific roles in the value chain. But we emphasize on acting within the confines of the legal framework while pursuing our interests and the best interest of the country. However, if there is an agreement by all stakeholders on a need to amend certain clauses in the legislation, let us collectively make the recommendation with justifications and we will act on it urgently.
According to the Eswatini Dairy Board's December 2020 overview of the dairy board industry in Eswatini's report, approximately 80% of local consumed dairy products are imported from South Africa, and products such as baby formula, sour milk, cheese and yogurt are a huge demand locally. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I am Samgal Suekoza in Babane.
Government's food relief program is still underway in the Shiseleni region. Bapalali Eswatini Red Cross took to Gwaluseni Chiefdom on Wednesday, where 194 homesteads received food aid under the program. Our reporter Sifiso Ngumalo sent us this report.
Gwaluseni, Nsaliche and Bambiche community members under the Matsanjeni South constituency came in numbers to receive food aid from the food relief program, which was launched by the Honorable Prime Minister Cleopas Dlamini on the 13th of August. Red Cross Field Officer Celani Malaza says 2,219 people under the 3 chiefdoms are going to benefit from the program.
Today, 3 chiefdoms are benefiting, which are Gwaluseni with 174 households and 1,054 beneficiaries. Then Bambiche, 93 households with 558 beneficiaries. And Nsaliche with 94 households and 607 beneficiaries. All these 3 chiefdoms are under Matsanjeni South in Kundla. And we are the commodity that we are distributing is rice, and each beneficiary is entitled to 10 kg.
We spoke to some of the beneficiaries who expressed gratitude to government.
Nkosi yami siyabonga hulumende kusipha kudla
simo besisibi kakhulu bekungekho lutho nje la kithi ungathi libalela kakhulu khona sihluphekile ngendaba ukudla namhlanje sizawulala sidlile Nkosi yami bantwana ngoba sitholile nakukudla lenisiphe kona siyabonga uNkulunkulu akehlula lutho.
The food relief program is worth 140 million emalangeni and is projected to provide food assistance to about 300,000 vulnerable Emaswati who were negatively impacted by COVID-19 and the recent civil unrest. Sifiso Nxumalo with Smuva Shongwe for Eswatini TV News, Gwaluseni.
And now let's have a look at our financial markets.
Standard Bank. It can be.
Welcome back. You are still watching Eswatini TV. Let's have a look at our sports news. Mzwandile Mabelesa says playing in the recent COSAFA Cup tournament that was held in Port Elizabeth in the Republic of South Africa came in handy for him. Mabelesa was speaking shortly after being awarded 6,000 emalangeni for being the best player in the league during the month of August.
Royal Leopard star Mzwandile Mabelesa was part of the squad that helped Sihlangu Semnigati collecting the country's second bronze medal at the COSAFA Cup tournament held in Port Elizabeth in South Africa in June this year. Mabelesa says getting a call to play for Sihlangu in COSAFA has raised his playing standards at the club level. He says being awarded for M10 Premier League August Best Player of the Month is a result of that. He went on to highlight that his club is continuing with preparations for the upcoming CAF Champions League encounter against Sesco United from Zambia. Under the National First Division, Vovovo FC midfielder Mancoba Vilagati was the best player for the month of August and walked away with 2,000 emalangeni.
Player of the month and
Vilagati says the club is heading to the Premier League next season to fight for titles.
Maybe top 8
The Premier League of Eswatini, with their title sponsor, revealed that preparations for the new season have already started and the kickoff will be announced in due course. For Eswatini TV Sports, Fabrice Mtsonera, Mbabane.
President of the Eswatini Basketball Association, Nhlanhla Maphanga, says the country will not take part in this year's Basketball Africa League and Region 5 games. Maphanga says they took this hard and painful decision because they couldn't play their league games since the outbreak of COVID-19 in the country.
This year, the Eswatini Basketball Association will miss out on some of the biggest international competitions, such as the Basketball Africa League and the Region 5 games. The association's president, Nhlanhla Maphanga, says this was due to the fact that the association failed to have a national league that was going to help in selecting players and clubs to represent the country.
We've been restricted to non-activity, actually, which is very unfortunate, like I said. We were hoping to have attended the Region 5 games, but those were school kids under 18s, and we all know that schools basically suspended all sports. So it was difficult to get the kids to compete in any way. And having spoken to sports council as well, they took the kids. They just took a few kids to taking a few kids to the Region 5 games. It's unfortunate as well because FIBA had agreed to recognize the Region 5 games as one of their participation tournaments. Basketball Africa League, the preliminaries are being undertaken now in Johannesburg in September. We were hoping to send one of our teams, but because we haven't had a national league, we can't. It's difficult to send a national champion. We don't have one for this year. However, they would have allowed us to send the previous year's national champions, but it's not fair to them as well because of the inactivity. You can't expect them to be going to compete in such a highly contested tournament.
Mapanga concluded highlighting that the association will be hosting its annual general meeting virtually on the 26th of this month. For Eswatini TV Sports, Fabrice Msonera, Mbabane.
That's all for now. Before we conclude, let's have a look at our top stories. The Prime Minister, Cleopas Dlamini, has assured Parliament that the safety of the nation is government's top priority. Parliament has approved the $5 million COVID-19 loan bill with the World Bank. Senate has dismissed allegations that were leveled against the Look Commission. And with that, we sum up our bulletin for the evening. Up next is the weather update from myself and the team at Eswatini TV. Thanks for watching. Good night.